Chapter 10, Food Establishment Design. Equipment for the food establishment that complies with the design and construction standards of the National Sanitation Foundation, that's NSF, is recommended to visit www.nsf.org. The NSF's Manual on Sanitation Aspects of Installation of Food Service Equipment is an excellent reference. Okay? Cross-contamination. Cross-contamination can be reduced by establishing separate areas for food handling operations that involve raw versus finished food. A separate food preparation sink for washing raw fruits and vegetables is suggested. Whenever chopping boards are used, they could be color-coded or labeled for specific use. All right, so keep everything separate and use different color boards so you remember what was on that board. Also, food storage and preparation areas must be separate from sleeping and living areas. Okay, so you don't prep food where you sleep and live and hang out. All right, food on display. All food on display, whether being served or being held, must be adequately protected from contamination by being individually wrapped, by sneeze guards and display cases, or by other effective means. Okay, so you have to protect them when you have food on display. Utensils. Where frozen desserts are being portioned and dispensed, dipping wells with running water should be provided to store dispensing utensils such as ice cream scoops, so you keep them under running water. Between uses. Food dispensing utensils should be stored in the food with the handle extended out of the food or in a dipper well with running water at a pressure that keeps them clean between uses. All right, so you keep it under running water too now. Equipment location. Equipment including ice cream makers, including ice makers and ice storage bins should not, and I repeat, should not be located under exposed or unprotected sewer lines, condensation lines, open stairwells, or other sources of contamination. Equipment installation requirements and recommendations to ensure proper spacing and sealing to allow for adequate and easy cleaning include: whenever possible, equipment should be mounted on casters or wheels to facilitate easy moving, cleaning, and provide a flexibility of operation. Floor-mounted equipment should be sealed to the floor around the entire perimeter of the equipment or elevated on legs to provide at least 6 inches, that's 6 inches, of clearance between the floor and equipment. Next, spacing between and behind equipment should be sufficient to permit cleaning. Okay? Hot holding and reheating equipment. Hot holding equipment must be capable of maintaining the internal temperature of potentially hazardous foods at 140 degrees Fahrenheit or above during service, display, or holding periods. Next, reheating equipment must be capable of raising the internal temperature of potentially hazardous foods to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit within 2 hours. All right, next, metal stem type numerically scaled thermometers accurate to plus or minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit are required to monitor temperatures. All right, next, page 3. Refrigeration equipment, design and size. Refrigeration facilities should be adequate to provide for the proper storage, transportation, display, service, and rapid cooling of potentially hazardous foods. Specific refrigeration needs should be based upon the menu, number of meals, frequency of delivery, and time of preparation in advance of service. A cooling device capable of rapidly cooling potentially hazardous foods from 140 degrees Fahrenheit to 41 degrees Fahrenheit within 4 hours is recommended. The capacity of the rapid cooling units should be large enough to accommodate the volume of food required to be cooled from 140 degrees Fahrenheit to 70 degrees Fahrenheit in 2 hours or less, and from 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 41 degrees Fahrenheit in 4 hours or less. Okay, so you make sure you check out the temperature and time, and that'll tell you how you need to cool this food, right? And what temperature it should be at during those increments. Refrigeration units must have numerically scaled thermometers accurate to plus or minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit with a sensor located to measure air temperature in the warmest part of the unit, all right? Walk-in units should contain shatterproof bulbs providing adequate light. Walk-in units should have condensation lines drained into the sewage system by way of an air break located outside the unit, okay? Next. Cleaning and sanitizing, all right? In order to reduce the number of bacteria and eliminate food for bacterial growth, we need to clean and sanitize dishes, silverware, and equipment. Sanitizing can be done by one of two methods. Hot water sanitization through manual and mechanical dishwashing. And number two, chemical sanitization through manual and mechanical dishwashing. Okay, wash your dishes. Scrape, pre-rinse, wash, rinse, sanitize, then drain. Use approved method for hand washing dishes and utensils. Approved method for hand washing dishes and utensils shown in the diagram here and also explained out here. Use a 3-compartment sink when cleaning dishes. Follow the steps below to maintain sanitary dishes. All right. Scrape and pre-rinse all dishes and utensils with warm water from a spray type nozzle to promptly before food can dry into them. This step keeps the wash water free of large food particles, loosen dried on foods, reduces stains on dishes, and saves detergent. All right, next. Wash energetically in first compartment with warm water at 110 degrees to 120 degrees Fahrenheit using a good dish detergent and brush. Dish detergent does not, and repeat, does not sanitize utensils, okay? Rinse utensils in the second compartment, immersing them in clean, warm water. Be sure dish detergent is rinsed off. Change the rinse water frequently. Do not rinse dishes in dirty water, okay? Next, sanitize utensils in third compartment with hot water or chemical sanitizer. Rinse utensils using a long-handled wire basket in clean hot water at a temperature of at least 170 degrees Fahrenheit for no less than 30 seconds. An alternate method is to submerge utensils for at least 1 minute in a sanitizing solution containing at least 50 parts per million of chlorine at a temperature of at least 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Drain and air dry dishes. Do not towel dry as it recontaminates utensils. Store utensils, glasses, and cups upside down in a clean, dry place. All right. Manual dishwashing. Use a 3-compartment sink. First compartment wash, second compartment rinse, third compartment sanitize, air dry. Next, get the third compartment to reach 170 degrees Fahrenheit by using a separate booster or a burner that placed directly under the sink. Next, use an immersion basket with handles for at least 30 seconds. All right. Next, high temperature mechanical dishwasher. A high temperature dishwasher may be used to achieve heat sanitation and must be operated according to the manufacturer's specifications. The final rinse cycle must be hot enough to bring the temperature of the dishes to 170 degrees Fahrenheit, but not exceed 195 degrees Fahrenheit because the water will vaporize before sanitation is achieved. Okay, next, chemical sanitation. This is achieved by using either a 3-compartment sink or a low temperature dishwasher. Okay. Chemicals are used for sanitization. A common one is chlorine. When done manually, using a 3-compartment sink, the third compartment is filled with warm water, approximately 75 degrees Fahrenheit. and chlorine bleach is used at a strength of 50 parts per million. This must be measured with a test kit to ensure the correct strength. When using low temperature mechanical dishwasher, the chemical must be dispensed automatically, and the final rinse temperature should be between 75 degrees Fahrenheit to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, or as per manufacturer specification. A test kit is needed to ensure that the proper strength of sanitizer, 50 parts per million, is used. When using a test strip, dip it into the final rinse water and note the color change. Compare this strip with a color comparator to determine strength. And that concludes part 1.